I used to think being broke was somehow holy. Like struggling meant I was more spiritual. If life was hard, maybe God was proud of me. I grew up believing money was dangerous, that wanting it was wrong, that it corrupted people, that real faith meant living with little and being content with it. So, for years, I wore my financial struggle like a badge of honor. If I couldn't afford something, I told myself, well, I'm just being humble. If someone else succeeded, I whispered, they're probably too focused on money. But deep down, something felt off. Because even though I wanted to please God, I was tired of worrying about bills, tired of feeling small, tired of calling scarcity faith. No one told me the Bible talks a lot about money. Not just warnings about greed, but wisdom about stewardship, diligence, and purpose. Over 2,000 verses, actually. And when I finally started reading them with an open heart, I realized something powerful: God never called me to be broke. He called me to be wise. And those words, those ancient verses, didn't just change how I saw money. They changed how I lived, how I worked, how I trusted. They made me rich, not just in my bank account, but in peace, purpose, and confidence. So today, I want to share the 7 lessons that completely transformed my financial life, not in an instant, but one mindset shift at a time. Lesson 1: Diligence builds wealth. One verse said it plainly, Proverbs 10 verse 4, lazy hands make you poor, but hardworking hands bring wealth. That one hit me hard. Because I used to jump from idea to idea, starting things but never finishing them. I wanted results without the repetition, success without the grind. But this verse taught me something simple and freeing: wealth doesn't grow from wishing, it grows from showing up. So I started showing up. Every day. Even when it wasn't exciting, even when no one noticed, even when I doubted myself. I sent the emails. I learned new skills. I worked on the small, ordinary tasks that no one claps for. And slowly, things started shifting. Doors opened. Opportunities found me. Not overnight, but steadily, like seeds breaking through the soil. That's when I realized, diligence isn't punishment. It's worship. It's trusting God enough to do your part consistently. Lesson 2: Faithfulness with the little. Another verse said, Luke 16 verse 10, if you can be trusted with a little, you can be trusted with much. That one made me pause. Because I used to think, when I have more, I'll give more. When I earn more, I'll budget better. But it doesn't work that way. God doesn't hand out more until we handle what we already have. I remember a season when I was living paycheck to paycheck. I told myself, I'll start saving later. I'll tithe when things get better. But things never did, because I wasn't proving faithful with the small. Then it clicked: abundance starts in the little. In how we manage $10. In how we treat a small opportunity. In how we handle the quiet seasons when no one's watching. It's not that God was withholding blessings, He was protecting me. He knew more money without maturity would break me, not bless me. So I started treating the little like a lot. And that's when increase began. Lesson 3: Debt is a trap. There's another verse that says, Proverbs 22 verse 7, the borrower is servant to the lender. Debt, it creeps in like a friend, but chains you like an enemy. For years, I thought borrowing was normal. Student loans, credit cards, quick cash, everyone did it. But slowly, I realized I wasn't free. Every month I worked hard just to pay off what I owed. I was making money, but not keeping it. My peace was gone. That verse woke me up. Debt keeps you in survival mode. It robs your creativity, your options, your joy. So I made a decision, to live differently. To pray before taking any loan, to ask, is this necessity or impulse? And the more I trusted God, the more He provided. Often through unexpected ways. When I stopped leaning on debt, I started leaning on discipline. And discipline paid me back more than any loan ever could. Lesson 4: Wisdom protects wealth. Another verse says, Ecclesiastes 7 verse 12, wisdom is protection, just like money, but wisdom keeps those who have it safe. You can make money without wisdom. But you won't keep it. I learned that the hard way. I once rushed into an investment because it sounded good. I didn't pray, didn't research, didn't ask for counsel. I just wanted fast results. And I lost. Not just money, confidence too. That's when I realized, I had ambition, but no discernment. So I started asking for wisdom first. Before every big move, every decision. I read, I listened, I learned. I surrounded myself with people who knew more than I did. And slowly, I saw the difference. Wisdom doesn't just protect your wallet, it protects your peace. Because when you know better, you do better, and you rest better. Lesson 5, Renewing the Mindset. For a long time, I chased the image of wealth, not the meaning of it. I bought things to impress, not to progress. I compared, competed, and called it success. Then I read this, Romans 12 verse 2, don't copy the patterns of the world, but let God renew your mind. That verse changed me from the inside out. Because wealth isn't about what's in your account, it's about what's in your attitude. The world says success is about luxury. God says success is about purpose. So I started redefining what rich meant to me. Rich became waking up without anxiety. Rich became having time for people I love. Rich became giving freely without fear. The moment I stopped chasing the world's version of success, I started finding peace in mine. Lesson 6, Give first, not last. Another verse taught me, Proverbs 3 verse 9, honor God with your wealth, and with the first portion of what you earn. That one stretched my faith. Because giving when you feel broke feels impossible. There were months I stared at my wallet thinking, what if I don't have enough? What if this offering means I'll lack later? But every time, I heard a quiet whisper, do you trust money, or do you trust me? So I started giving, not after I paid the bills, but before. It felt scary at first. But something incredible happened. It was like doors opened. Ideas flowed. Clients showed up. Peace filled my home. I realized I wasn't losing by giving, I was aligning. When I honored God first, He managed the rest better than I ever could. Lesson 7, Nothing is wasted. And finally, there's one verse that carried me through every financial failure, Romans 8 verse 28, all things work together for good for those who love God. All things, not just the easy seasons. When I made bad money choices, when opportunities fell through, when I felt like I had messed up too much, this verse kept me steady. Because with God, nothing is wasted. Every setback is a setup. Every closed door is redirection. Every loss teaches something that success never could. So even when I didn't see progress, I trusted the process. And now, looking back, I see it, how every challenge prepared me, refined me, built me. Those 7 truths didn't just make me financially better. They made me spiritually grounded, emotionally strong, and mentally at peace. So, did those verses make me rich? Yes, but not in the way you might think. They made me rich in peace. Rich in purpose. Rich in gratitude and confidence. Money comes and goes. But wisdom, diligence, and faith, those are treasures that never run out. I used to think I had to choose between faith and finances. Now I know, they were never enemies. God isn't against your success, He's against your pride. He doesn't want your struggle, He wants your trust. When you let Him guide your habits, your mindset, your giving, He takes care of the rest. So here's my challenge for you, pick just one of these lessons. One verse. One mindset shift. Write it down. Think about it. Pray with it. And see how it starts shaping your decisions this week. Because you weren't made to live in constant lack. You were made to grow, to create, to thrive, to be a blessing, not just to survive. And when you start letting God lead your financial life, you'll see it's not about getting rich. It's about becoming wise enough to handle the blessings He's been waiting to give you all along. Remember, abundance isn't just about what you have. It's about who you're becoming while you trust God with it.